Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Where the Mind Wanders with Spoons and Joe. Say hi, Spoons.
Hey there.
So, we've taken the last 2 weeks off, and I think this is what, episode 27 we're recording right now, if I'm correct. Yeah.
Yes.
So, as we usually do, we're just gonna wing it and see where the where the mind wanders, um, and as usual, I'm gonna dump it on Spoons. Spoons, where should we jump off?
Oh gosh. I don't know. So the last couple of weeks I've started that new job. So that was the reason why we took off the first week. Um the second week, I can't remember exactly what happened, but it worked out because it flooded the city here. So if I had parked and recorded with you that day like I had planned, I wouldn't have made it home.
Hmm.
So yeah, they had 6 inches of rain or 7 inches of rain in just a couple of hours fall over the town, and it just flooded. I mean, it flooded places that have never flooded that I've known of. So it took some people like 8 hours to get home, something crazy. They
Wow.
had to wait for, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy stuff. So we've been having crazy weather, and it's back up to 95 here. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. The last few weeks, what I've been learning a new job, getting out on the road again in a different way than the rideshare stuff. Um, I don't know. I guess one of the things I've been doing, I'm used to like driving all over the place or whatever, like we're doing. But now I have to look at things a little bit different. I'm trying to figure out um, different places I want to go in and like talk to people and stuff. So uh, it's been kind of a interesting shift. And of course, I'm just 2 weeks into this job, and there's like probably another 4 weeks of training before I really get to know exactly what it is. So, I don't know. So far, so good. Yeah. Trying to think what else we can really talk about this episode. Mm, hmm. I don't know. It's been interesting, like going and learning to introduce myself to people and having to do that process over and over and over and over. For an introvert, it's like, I don't know. It's not torture. I can tell there's like a difference in all that stuff because used to I would have just rather die than do this kind of work. But um I don't know, it's a little different. I guess my thought process is now if they say no, okay, whatever. I just met this person, so it's not gonna hurt anything. It's actually people are actually a lot friendlier than I was expecting, so that's kind of nice. Because typically when I think of people going around trying to sell stuff, people are generally pretty rude. So, but I haven't met a whole lot of that.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't know. What else? Anything you want to like throw in here?
My last few weeks have not been as exciting and action-packed as yours.
Oh
Uh,
gosh. Yeah.
Doing this same old, really. Um, yeah, still working on music. Um, yeah, not as much time as I would w like to, but I have been.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Other than that, really not much going on. It's cooling down slowly. It's still a little warm, but it's not like brutal anymore.
Hmm. That's nice.
Mm.
I'm looking forward to the cooler weather. I am. I'm kind of over this 95-degree nonsense. It's a little too much. Um, I don't know. Did you start on your lyrics and stuff? I think we had talked about that the last time.
No, not really, to be
No.
honest. Uh, Worked on some new projects, a couple older ones, but more perfecting the instrumental still. But yeah, not well. I do have an idea for the one I'm working on. What the vocal,
Hmm.
not what the lyrics are, but what the vocals should sound like. And I'm like kind of scratching my head, like, how am I going to do that? Like, I'm not sure how to go about it, but I have it in my
Uh-huh.
head the way they're supposed to like be.
Hmm.
So, I got
Yeah.
a general gist of the rhyming scheme. So I guess I got a bare bones for lyrics.
Hmm.
Uh,
It'll get there, I'm sure.
yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, or I don't know if we said it on air. I said it on air or with you off air, but this year I'm releasing something. That's my deadline. Just before the year ends, I'm releasing something, at least one thing, one thing, more
Yeah.
if I can. But because I know
Yeah.
if I can release one thing, I'm pretty sure everything else will be easier afterward. It's just that first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have to figure out what that little block is that's stopping you from that last percentage. Because you've got some things that are close, I think.
Right. Yeah, I got a few things that are pretty much just need the lyrics and maybe some final touches after the vocals are on there.
Hmm.
Like spice it up and whatnot. Make it sound more actiony, whatever the word is. But
Hmm.
yeah, but I don't think it would take very long. It's just doing it.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. I've
Yeah.
heard some nerdy stuff about music, but I don't know if the audience wants to hear any of that.
Well, I don't know much else that we've got to
Yeah.
talk about today. And I don't know. Um, yeah, procrastination, man. I have a couple of things on my list. I just keep pushing them down the list. And they really won't even take me that long to do, I don't think, if I just sit down and devote the time to it. And I just won't do it. I've been kind of contemplating on that a bit. And of course, I think that's just more time to waste to not to do it, to contemplating it. I don't know. I've been
Yeah.
having some thoughts on procrastination and why I waste so much time with it, especially right now because I don't have a lot of time. I was telling you since the last time we recorded, I've had one day that I didn't have something I had to do. And really, I should have been working on some of those things. And I was just like, no, I'm just going to take the day and relax because I need a day to relax. Getting getting back into that Monday through Friday schedule, man. I can't decide if I love it, hate it, or what, honestly. Some aspects of it are kind of nice,
Hmm.
but I don't like having all the limitations that I have. But I kind of think after I get out of training, it won't be as limited because I'll be more in control of my stuff. But I don't know.
What time do you have to be at work?
8.
Eight.
So technically, the hours are like 8 to 5.
Mm.
And then on one day a week, we have like a call at 5:15 that's supposed to last just a few minutes. Last week, I forgot it completely. So now I have like all these. My calendar just looks like I don't know. I don't even know how to tell you what my calendar looks like at this point because I have all these different meetings and calls and stuff that I have on my calendar that recur every. I pretty much have something every day, Monday through Friday. And then the schedule kind of switches around a little bit when they take lunch breaks and stuff. So it's just weird trying to get the flow of all that. I don't know. It was much, well, I think about it. All the stuff that I've accomplished in the last 2 weeks is way more than what I would do in an average 2 weeks. So, in that respect, it's better. I'm getting a lot more stuff done because I'm actually having to manage my time more effectively. I don't have all the time in the world now.
Yeah,
So,
that's kind of what drives me crazy about 9 to 5s, or I guess in your case 8 to 5. But yeah, it's like I right now I only work from 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're done when we're done. But we'll say usually around 8 o'clock I'm done
mhm.
most days. So I only work 5 hours a day. So, but getting up in the morning and spending the entire day at a job is for me it's not. I can do it for up to 2 years. I think we talked about that last time. I have like a 2 year mark, or then I'm like, I just lose it. I'm like, I just quit. I just quit. I show up to work one day and just quit.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I think we did talk about that. I don't know. I have a little bit longer of a frame, but usually it's because, well, I learned early on I had to pick stuff that had room for me to like keep learning stuff. Even after I learned the initial job, there's got to be some kind of changes periodically or something to keep me engaged. Otherwise, I'm going to hate it and I'll be done in 6 months. I would be done in 6 months. I wouldn't last 2 years. So, you know, I think, um, I don't know. These days, it's more like people issues and trying to get around some of that kind of stuff. And I guess I have more of the mindset these days that's different from early on, which is, well, I need a job, was how I was always looking at it before. But now I'm more selective because I'm like, you can get a job wherever. It might take some time to figure it out or whatever, but I'm I'm not going to invest in a place that's not going to treat me well.
yeah.
So, I've been uh, so part of the job on a part of the job is you have to research uh, people to call or whatever, and so you have to get online and look stuff up and all of this stuff. And I'm just zipping through all of that, because all these other jobs that I had, the especially working in insurance before on the review side, we would review like 500-600 pages of stuff. So I know how to like sort through stuff. And so this is like child's play. You're just looking for addresses and phone numbers and basic information about the places you're going to try to have something to engage with them on. Like, this is simple. And they're just like so impressed with that. I'm like, it's just research, man. I can research like nobody's business.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I guess maybe the average person doesn't. I didn't think that was like a thing. I think most people are pretty good at looking stuff up, figuring things out.
You know, well, yeah. I think back to the time I worked at telecom. There's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things you could just easily look up, but instead you go and harass the cell phone clerk. So,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I guess that just goes back to me. I like the one of the cell phone company that I worked for. I basically knew all of the jobs there before I left, except for the actual installation of equipment in the tower and running the equipment in the back.
mm,
I had worked sales. I had done their accounts receivable. I paid their bills. I did their payroll. I did billing on the customer service side. I, I did, oh, I can't even think. There was a couple of other things that I had to learn. Collections. I helped with collections some. But anyway, it was just like, I'm used to, I like to learn all the moving pieces, you know, it's interesting to me.
yeah,
And it helps you understand the other pieces of the business better. So, you know,
yeah. Yeah, I feel you. That's kind of how my job is now. So I know like the all the positions except the paperwork the supervisor does and some office stuff because I don't work in the office. But uh, everything else I over the last 6 years I've been there, I've learned how to do everybody's job, which has kind of screwed
yeah.
me in a lot of ways because even the supervisor calls me the Joker card because I just show up to work and they put me wherever.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really have a consistent thing I do on a daily basis. Like every day to day, week to week, it always changes up because like I can do all the jobs, so they just put me wherever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a blessing and a curse when you work like that. It's like, well, on one hand, it doesn't get too boring because you get to change it up. But on the other hand, you get stuck with a lot of bull crap, you know, or you can. So it's, I was trying to think um, some of the books I've been reading lately. I have one, but I don't know if we should really talk about it. So it's one that was assigned in my yoga group,
Mm,
and it's rage inducing for me. And the content of it's maybe tricky to talk about on here. I don't know. It's really I feel like it's well written. It's not even really about the book or what she's saying so much as the mindset that it's coming from.
mm,
So maybe I can approach it that way, not tell you what the book's about or what it is. It comes from this victim mindset.
okay.
So it's written from this place of victimhood to express the person's experience, which I get, because how else do you say this is how I perceive the world? Sometimes it does come across a little victimy or there's victimhood with that. And that's actually the problem I have with it. It's not so much what she's saying, it's how she's saying it.
Hmm.
And I didn't realize it until we kind of got into the discussion about it. And I was like, it's hard for me to listen to that because it's constantly you're giving your power away. You're
Mm,
saying, I can't do this because so and so does this. And
okay.
it's like, to some degree, yeah, maybe that's true. But also, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just give their power over too easily.
Yeah, it seems like some, if that's the tone of it, it seems like a weird uh book to be assigned. Like it seems like anti what you're doing.
Right?
Yeah.
That was kind of also the thing that I brought up. Yoga is about getting rid of labels. And this book is very much like sticking all the labels places. And I mean, in order to talk about things, you have to have labels. But I don't know. I feel like it gets into these things where it's like it's political talk and activism and all of this stuff, and I don't
Oh,
vibe with any of that.
all right. I know exactly. I have an idea what
Okay.
you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and to me, I'm not saying you shouldn't be an activist.
Mm,
I feel like if you're that called to stand up for something, okay, then you should follow that. I'm not. I'm not called to, in that way. Um, I feel like a lot of activism does more harm than good.
totally.
It's further dividing.
Mm,
But at the same time, people should stand up for themselves.
yeah.
So where's that line of standing up for yourself and I don't know. I don't even know where the lines are on that.
Well,
But
I mean,
yeah.
I've noticed a lot, especially when I used to live in that village. I used to live in the Kalmuns. It was like mostly like it's like half like really old German families that have been there forever, and the other half is like artists and people like that. So like it was very new agey there, and um, everybody did yoga and meditated and blah blah blah. But the overall vibe, I've seen this, throughout my life everywhere. Like the majority of people that are into those things, like yoga or for one example, it's kind of got like a new agey kind of left wing political slant on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like yoga's just something you do because it's like you're this person politically and whatever. Like, I don't know if you understand
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying. Like, it's,
I yeah.
yeah. So to, to me, it's like, it's a uniform, like a new age kind of person is wearing a uniform.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see it like that. But, that's the thing is your identity is all wrapped up in this thing and these I'm this person, so I listen to this type of music, I do these things, yoga, whatever, meditate,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and it's just what you do because that this is my identity in the group I belong to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's like they're not even really interested in yoga to the only to the I'm getting tongue
To
tied
the
trying to
belong yeah, to
yeah
belong into the thing that
yeah
everyone else is
yeah yeah
doing. Yeah.
to simplify it,
I
yeah.
get it.
Mm.
Yeah. Um yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating cuz like for me the last several years, like I used to be political. I'm not anymore. I don't have any problem with people that are. If that appeals to them, good for them. I guess somebody should be keeping up with that stuff. I'm not interested. I don't see it as helpful or I don't see the needle move one way or the other with it ever.
Mm,
It's just a thing that exists.
mm.
So I don't know. Um, but yeah. So I've been struggling the last couple of weeks with this book because we're supposed to read and I've only read like the first two chapters. It's not like I got way deep into this book. Um, I got mad in the introduction.
Yeah.
So it's like um but I have a lot of problems with anything that's written from the victim, I'm powerless kind of perspective. And it's very triggering for me.
Yeah. I'd be the same. Actually, wouldn't have even stuck around as long as you did, because as soon as I was catching those vibes, I would have jumped off the board. So,
Yeah. Had it not been assigned reading for the course, I wouldn't
mm,
have done it. And I thought about not doing it. And then I'm like, no, I need to, I need to, at least give it a try. So I would read for a few minutes and then I would stop.
mm,
Sometimes for the rest of the day. Sometimes I could go back to it sooner, but it took me a while to get through those couple of chapters. I don't know. I've been trying to work on that because I feel like when I talk about the victimhood stuff, people see it as victim blaming, and I suppose on some level it kind of is. Because I feel like there are certain situations that are truly out of our power or whatever, but I feel like a lot of uh, situations people end up in are a direct result of their actions.
yeah.
So it's a tough one. It's not that I don't feel sympathy for them. I mean, I've been in spots like that as well. Um, but I just don't understand staying in a place of victimhood.
Yeah, a lot, but most of the world, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, they get something out of it. It's hard to wrap your mind around it, but it's they get something out of it. They wouldn't change if it was they got the a silver platter handed to them with the magic ticket to change, they wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Even if they say they would, they won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It would never be enough. It'll never yeah, you're right. It'll never satisfy them. Whatever. I don't know. I guess I've been puzzled like how I can kind of work where that's not so triggering for me.
mm,
I don't know if that means me being more sympathetic or understanding or something. I feel like I'm understanding, but then again, maybe there's something I'm not seeing. I don't know. But that's where my mind's been a lot the last couple of weeks, trying to just work on that and figure out, is there something that I can think about differently and figure out a way where I could actually read this and not feel like I want to just scream.
mm,
Mm. Interestingly enough, she's sort of mad about how yoga's portrayed because I guess they feel like it's this slim white female body that comes to mind when people say yoga. And that's part of the problem in the book. And I'm just like, that's not at all what I think of when I think about
mm.
yoga, but you
Yeah.
know,
If any people come to mind, it's Indians.
I know.
But
I'm like, why wouldn't that be the first? Because it comes from that region over there. So why are they thinking about this Western version?
yeah,
And
well,
that's
there is sort of a Western version. There is like a kind of a stereotype, so I sort of get it. It's not like a skinny female necessarily, but like a hippie women. But that could be anywhere 18 to like 80 or and all different
right.
body shapes. But yeah, there is like a there is there's a stereotype here in the West. Most of the people that are involved in it are kind of like new agey kind of women, mostly.
Hmm. No,
Mm.
I
Doesn't
don't
mean it
know.
has
It
to
was
be.
kind of, yeah, it doesn't have to be, but it is like, I don't know, it is interesting. You know, we were talking about some different stuff in class the other day, and one of the girls was like, has anybody ever had have you ever heard of those pictures where they uh, have a different kind of camera and it is supposed to capture your aura?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a specific term for that cryon photograph, or something
Uh
like
huh.
with a K or something. But yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were asking if anybody had had that done, and everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "I've had it done." It's just like, "Oh, I already knew you had it done," and then I was like, "Oh." I was trying to think, well, why does she know that out of the group that I'm the one that's had it done? And then I'm like, I don't know. It made me kind of like wonder what brought that comment out. I don't know. I guess maybe because I had already told her some different things that I looked into, so maybe she just lumped that in there with them. Is you know anything that catches my attention for a few minutes, I'm probably gonna try it. Especially stuff like that. I don't know. I find it fascinating. I have no clue if that's like legitimate or not. Who cares? It's interesting. It's something to do.
Mm.
You know. I thought it was kind of interesting anyway. Mm, I don't know. I guess I've been also kind of thinking about that. Like, what do people actually see when they meet you for the first time or the first few times? What is
Mm.
it that I'm kind of giving off or whatever? Because the other thing is like I get into this office with these new people, and the demographic is much younger, which is good. I feel like that's fine.
Mm.
Um, but I feel like they probably think she's very old and she doesn't
Yeah,
know.
that happened to me sometime at some point too. I'm not the oldest guy at work, but we'll just say 80% of the people that I work with are like a lot younger than me, like in their 20s mostly.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, at some point I became the old guy when I realized, like I said, there are a couple people older than me, but uh, but yeah, I'm definitely on the far right side of the bell curve. So, yeah, at some point I became the old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, I get compliments though. Everybody says when they hear how old I was, they're like, "Well, I thought you were in your 20s." I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, thanks, I guess."
Well, apparently I've hit that other end of the spectrum. I ran into a guy the other day and we were just like chit chatting or whatever while I was waiting on my laundry because I was at the laundromat thing. And we got to talking about the weather, and I was talking about how unusually uh, hot it had been this summer. And his comment was, "Are you sure it's not just because you're just old now?" Like, what? I guess I've got to the age where now I'm just too old to take the heat. I didn't even argue with him. I'm like, I could pull it up on Google and show you where it's the seventh hottest summer we've had in Tennessee ever. Or I could just let it go. So I chose to just let it go. And I was just like, what an interesting comment. Um, I guess I forget how old I am sometimes.
Me
Even
too.
though I don't, on some level, I don't feel that old at all. And on other levels, I feel like ancient.
Dude, I stopped counting years ago. It takes me, I have to calculate in my head a few minutes, or not a few minutes,
Yeah,
some seconds to figure it out. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm this age. But like my birthday this year, I wasn't sure how old I was turning when it came
right.
up. I was like, yeah, I'm in my 30s, I guess. Um, but yeah, I stopped counting some years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think a couple of years ago, I just started telling people I was close to 50. I'm like, I'm really not that close to. I think at 45, I started telling people I was close to 50, and I don't know why. It was kind of funny. It was like I don't want to keep up with it anymore. It's not interesting, um, or needed, really.
Yeah.
Why are people so obsessed with it? I don't know. It's kind of funny. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That just that whole interaction, I was like, oh yeah, I forget. I am old. And he was like older than me. That was the funny part about it. He was probably like 15 years older than me, calling me old. So I'm like, it was just an odd. I guess this is letting me work on my conversation skills or something. Oh, it's funny. Like one of those rare instances where you can't even talk about the weather with somebody without it getting heated.
He did.
Or I felt like I was getting heated. Like, Jesus, dude. He kept trying. He tried a couple of different conversations, actually, it felt like, just to try to get something to argue about. Ooh. He was talking about needing to check for leaks in my camper because I was talking about how inefficient it is to like cool and heat. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to invest a bunch of money sealing up the stuff in this camper. I'm not going to be in it forever. Um, if it was going to be for like a long period of time, I could see investing the money, but I'm just like, dude, let's talk about something else. Mm, oh.
Tell you, I'm digging my new chair.
Yeah.
This is the first episode that we've done with the since we had this chair. And
Hmm.
it's very comfortable. I feel a
Yeah.
lot more relaxed than usual because usually I'm like squirming.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, and yeah, you seem like you're more comfortable this episode
Mm.
than, yeah, than others because it seems like the chair you had before you had like squirmed a lot or you just looked like you were having to hold yourself up a lot, you know?
Yeah. Well, there was no like backrest or anything. It's a guitar stool, my old chair. Used
Hmm.
that for like 3 years now. The last month, I was like, I can't do it anymore. It's hurting my butt. It's hurting my back. It's I can't like. I was using it even sit there and mix a song for hours on end, and it was just very uncomfortable. It was
Yeah.
designed to play a guitar, like.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is nice, but it's a lot lower to the ground in it in my old chair, the guitar stool. So I had to like adjust everything and recalibrate my speakers for mixing. But it's like at this point, I'm getting used to it. But when I first did it, it changes the sound of the entire like. of any music you're listening to, it changes the sound completely because now the speakers are lower to the floor, which the acoustics for the entire room are different. So like I for the first week, like I was like working on music, I didn't even know what the hell I'm listening to. Everything sounded like crap to me because the waves are all lower to the ground now. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but now I'm starting to get a feel. Okay, this is what it sounds like with the speakers in this position and whatnot. But
Uh-huh.
it's it was yeah, not as easy as just getting a chair. I had to like redo everything, not everything, but I had to make everything lower to the ground because everything has to be lined up perfectly to the listener when you're like mixing and stuff like that. So,
Right.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah, I never really thought about how, you'll talk about how you don't use headphones and stuff because it messes with the ears. Um, the behavior panel, I think, is what the name of that channel is. The guy on there, it's four different behavior analysts that kind of got together and put together a YouTube channel. Anyway, one of them's name is Scott, and he does mixing. Like, I guess that's what he does professionally. And they're like, he can listen to somebody talking and he'll be like, is there a window 8 feet away from where you're
yeah,
sitting? Just like I never thought about, using sound in that way where you could kind of detect the shape of the room, maybe, or I don't know, just different aspects like that. I thought that was interesting.
yeah. I gotta kind of. I can't exactly tell you what I'm hearing sometimes, but I intuitively or immediately know. Uh, my ear. I wasn't that good when I first started doing music. Like I didn't really have too much of an ear for frequencies, but as I've been doing this some years now, like I hear, I could tell you what certain frequencies sound like, the room it's that you're hearing, like the reverb, like I feel almost like a bat in a way, like I could like the only downside to that is that I became a lot very kind of sensitive to like high frequencies,
Mhm.
like that nail on the chalkboard kind of frequency or like squeaking or stuff like that, because when you hear it in your music, you can EQ it out. Like, now, like for instance, there's like a metal slide at work, and when they move it, like the metal on metal, like is like ugh, like
Oh, yeah.
never used to bother me, but now that my ears are sensitive to it, it's like it really bothers me.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to think what sound. I used to have a couple of sounds that I don't like styrofoam. Like if styrofoam like rubs up against styrofoam, it makes that squeak. Oh, I don't know what it is about that. It just drives me crazy. It makes me get like chill bumps.
Mm.
Oh, fascinating. I don't know. Yeah. Oh. Well, I guess this is the second time this month you've had to rearrange your studio,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
or
the
maybe
first
that
time
was
it was
last.
just taking the mic out of the compressor and sticking it directly into the input. Um, but I had to maneuver some stuff around. But the chair was more because I had to recalibrate like all my speakers and stuff, set them up
Mhm.
differently, lower them, make them lower so that they're lined up with my at my ear level. Mm. Um, nope.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, but I wanted to cry at first because it's like everything sounded like crap when I changed it because I was so used to that position for a while.
Right.
That everything just sounded like crap and muddy and but it was just my how I was perceiving it is that's one uh, thing about music that you especially you learn when you're getting into production mixing and stuff like that is that sound is mostly like psychological, like it's psychoacoustics, I think they call it. Like it's how you perceive something. There's so many like little factors, and then one thing being relative to something else will changes how you perceive stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, like I I've been learning more since I started doing music again now. It's like catching on that what like for instance if you're mixing a certain element, I don't know, we'll say a hi-hat or something like that, you don't actually listen to the hi-hat. As you're changing stuff on the hi-hat, you're listening to everything else because
Hmm.
it's everything else is changing as you change the hi-hat.
Right.
Um, yeah, because it's all psychological. It's like how we perceive sounds, and I imagine it's even probably individual from one person to the next. Some people don't like certain instruments and frequencies and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, everything's perception when it comes to sound, how you perceive it,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of factors into that. Very nerdy stuff. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's why it's so important. Like, if you're into movies and stuff like that, the scores for that stuff can totally change how you feel about what's on the screen, the music.
Mhm.
Um, I was watching something the other week, and what was it? I can't even remember what it was. It was something silly, just to kind of break the seriousness that I'd been dealing with or whatever. So I was watching something, and they were talking about that movie series Twilight from however long ago Twilight was.
Mhm.
And that's like a very, if you ever watched any of the stuff, it's very kind of somber, and they're very serious throughout the whole thing, and the score keeps it pretty um kind of intense. And somebody has uploaded it somewhere with different background without that kind of score, and they just make it more like a comedy, how they've shifted the music with it. I'm like, I was kind of curious and wanting to go and watch it, but I don't even remember where they said it was now or what it was called. It was like interesting to think about how you could change a whole movie if you can just edit out the score and put your own whatever to it.
You know, some people are just geniuses at that. I heard somebody talk about um, that if a score is done correctly, you won't even notice the music.
Mm-hmm.
You just you get totally more absorbed into whatever's happening on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because if you remember the music, usually it's not that good because you don't want to
Yeah.
even know the music's going on. However, if you were to play that music, that scene would come up because it's attached to the scene, like the famous Jaws. Yeah, it's like everybody knows that, um, but you don't really notice it if you're absorbed into the movie. You don't wouldn't notice it, but if you heard it, you're like, oh, that's Jaws. That's
Mm-hmm.
how a score is supposed to be, which makes sense to me, I guess.
100%.
Mm.
No, I don't know. I feel like, I've said several times the last few years I've been really more into instrumental stuff for the last while. And I feel like it just changes your whole mood. What you're playing and surrounding yourself with is so fascinating. I can tell, like, if I'm in a really not great mood, I can put on some smooth jazz. And some people would say that would depress them, but I'm like, I don't see how. I feel like it always makes me feel better, more relaxed. I don't know. I need to get back into some of that. I feel like since I haven't been doing the rideshare, I haven't been listening to as much classical and instrumental things. Um, like at night, I usually will put something on to sleep, but it's more like frequency stuff. It's not so much like music as it is just a noise to keep things kind of even and lulled.
Mm,
Although I was thinking the other night, I don't know why I'm putting on that because I can hear like the crickets and the frogs and all that stuff.
yeah,
Right now, I'm like, that's plenty of noise and ambiance. So why am I putting on something else? I don't know.
yeah. I like the sound of the rain. Like I was on a kick a few months ago where I would put on like you see them on YouTube like 3 hours of rain to relax or whatever.
Hmm.
And yeah, it does help me go to sleep. But there's one day it was raining outside. I put that on. I'm like, wait a minute, it's raining outside. I was just listening to rain outside. Uh,
Yep. I don't know. It's funny. Habit, man. I don't know. Mm, I don't know. I need to plan me a day to go out and get in nature. I was realizing that this week. I'm like, I think one day after work, I'm just gonna like go to a park or something because spending all this time like enclosed is not great for me.
yeah, I
Um,
can find myself doing that, being inside too much as well. But a few days a week, I'll either ride my bike to work or I'll take the bus, but like an hour earlier, and then I have like an hour to like walk around and be outside and get some fresh air before I go to work. So I'll just go to the
mm,
village, like 7 miles from here where my job is, and I'll just like
mhm.
walk around. And they have some like nice trails over there, so I'll just walk around and just make sure I get to work before I start for my start time.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I've
yeah,
been on this kick the last couple of weeks where I'm getting up a lot of days at 5 and going and working out and then going to work, um, which has been interesting. I don't know. It's not even that difficult to get up. I was gonna go this. I didn't do it this morning though. I think I just overdid it yesterday because I got up, went and worked out, went and worked all day, and then went to a yoga class that night. I was like, maybe that was a little bit too much for that day. So I slept in today. So, but I'm sure tomorrow I'll go. The thing about that is, though, I mean, I'm getting up and out, but it's in the dark
mm,
or mostly dark. So I don't know. Too
yeah,
early to go traipsing about.
yeah. I've realized that that we're losing sunlight or daylight. How many hours of daylight? Like I had to work
Mhm.
Saturday morning. I hadn't worked
Yeah.
a Saturday morning in a few weekends,
Hmm.
and I was I get up at 4:30 in the morning and I usually leave here like 5:15 or so. But by when I leave at 5:15, there was like daylight the last couple months, and now it's like the, just the twilight's coming in. So it's
Hmm.
like the daylight is radically changing, um,
Yeah.
which in a way is good. The only good part I like about this like May, June, July of in Germany is that really early there's daylight already. Like really,
Hmm.
really early. I think like 4:30 at the height of, you know, whatever it is, the equinox, whatever. Um, I don't know where I was going with that, Spoons. I don't think it was that important. But yeah, it's we're losing daylight. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean it's not like pitch black when I go out at say 5:30 to go start my day, but and then, by the time I do all that and get showered and find breakfast, it's complete daylight. It's kind of weird. Like where I'm currently at on this ridge, it's like it gets daylight, but you can't see the sun. Like the sunrise is way after the daylight. It's already, I feel like you can't even see the sun until about like 8:30. It's so funny. We were driving around today and I'm like, I don't know if my eyes are just being super sensitive today or what, but I couldn't take off my sunglasses. It was just like the sun was so bright. And it's like it just, I don't know, everywhere we went, it felt like it was directly in my eyes, no matter what. I don't know. When I was driving all the time, it wasn't bothering me. I rarely ever wore sunglasses. But I guess even just the couple of months that I didn't really drive for work, maybe I didn't get out in the sun enough or something. I don't know.
yeah, I developed a thing to like, well, it's been a while actually, like probably 7 or 8 years. Is the sun makes me sneeze.
Uh-huh.
Like, like when light hits my eyes, it makes me
Mhm.
sneeze. So yeah, I always wear sunglasses outside because I'm like, well, I don't know where I never was like that when I was younger, but like the last 7 or 8 years or whatever, it's like if I'm the sun like hits my eyes, I start sneezing like like an allergic reaction almost like so
Mhm.
yeah, so I've been wearing a lot of more sunglasses.
Yeah. I I don't know. I went through a period where I was trying my best not to wear my sunglasses unless I just really had to. Because I don't know. I feel like it's blocking out some of the stuff you need to absorb. So I try to make sure I get at least 10, 15 minutes of like sunlight. Not like I don't do the sun gazing or any of that stuff like people will talk about, but I'm just like trying to be out where you get a little bit of sunlight. Obviously, I don't get a lot of sunlight. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like once I started doing that, not wearing the sunglasses, my night vision kind of improved and I didn't have as much problem with headlights. A lot of times at night, I got to where there for a while I wouldn't even drive at night because the headlights from the oncoming cars would bother my eyes so much.
Hmm.
Um, but when I stopped using sunglasses every day, it, I don't know, it's like the eyes changed, didn't react the same. So I don't know. I feel like my vision actually improved, but sometimes I guess around this particular age, people's vision changes quite a bit anyway.
Yeah, reading
So
glasses.
yeah,
Everybody winds up getting reading glasses.
yeah. I still don't have any of that stuff. Like um, I'm able to read books fine without glasses, and most of the computer stuff, I'll blow it up if I need to.
Yeah, that's what I do. I set
But
everything on my computer to be larger, like the next size up.
mm,
Mm.
yeah, I have my stuff on larger print. But uh, I have no idea how we got on this subject.
Me neither. Oh, we went over an hour, so unless you got something else, we could probably just wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Don't know of anything else.
Yeah, I'm tapped myself. So I'm kind of hungry. So
Hmm.
all right, we'll wrap it up. Guys, thank you for tuning in to Where the Mind Wanders with Spoons and Joe. You can catch us most Mondays. We'll just say every Monday, but was most Mondays in actuality. Um, on YouTube at Where the Mind Wanders. We debut an episode every Monday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. We also have a Telegram channel of the same name, Where the Mind Wanders. So, guys, if you enjoyed the show, click that like button, leave us a comment, subscribe, share it around, and yeah, every episode's kind of different. It's Where the Mind Wanders. We have the best. What our title is what the show seems to be. So we just let the mind wander, and Spoons and I have a lot of different interests and topics to talk about, and we never know where it's going to go. Some days we'll be talking about psychoacoustics and sunlight and whatnot, and some days we'll be talking about uh like whatever true crime or something. So just tune in if you enjoyed it. Um if you didn't like this one, catch the next one anyway, because we're going to talk about something different anyway. So thanks again for tuning in, and then to next time. Bye guys.